Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Let's begin with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscham Shrirupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shavadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscham Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणीं वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कंत राधा कंत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचला निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we will just little take a detour from our Bhagavad Gita ongoing classes, and we will complete a remaining section of the Bhakti Yoga seminar. So I have delivered this seminar in both in Bengali and English. So in Bengali it is complete. I was checking in English, there is one section still remaining. So just to remind you of this seminar, initially when someone gets introduced to Krishna consciousness, there is a introductory seminar called Discover Yourself or Sense of Self-Realization. In that seminar, we learned so many things like we are not this body, we are soul, and the authenticity of scriptures. Why should we read these scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam? What is their authenticity? And then based on the scriptures, we establish the supremacy of Krishna. And then there is a discussion about whether the Supreme Lord is formless or with form, personal and impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord. And then difference between Krishna, Vishnu, and other incarnation Vishnu Tattvas. Then we discuss about the spiritual world, the abode of the Supreme Lord, and the material world. What is the difference? Why we are here in this material world? What is the nature of the spiritual world? Then we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna in this age of Kali. And then the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and most prominent one is Harinam, the chanting of the holy names. Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyatha. Then we have the science of devotional service, different stages of bhakti, different flavors of bhakti, 9 different processes of bhakti, and so many things. 5 important rasas by which one can, a devotee can connect with Krishna, and so many things. Inexhaustibility of devotional service and all. How Bhakti Yoga is encompassing all other yogic methods like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. So everything is there within Bhakti Yoga. So all these discussions are there. Sambandha, Avidya, Prayojan, Tattva is also discussed. And then we have this Parampara, or the disciplic succession, Guru Shishya Parampara, and then the science of deities, or the why we are worshipping this form of the Supreme Lord, and what kind of form we can worship, how scriptures approves, what kind of forms are approved by the scriptures, what is the logic behind it. If the Supreme Lord is everywhere, why should we worship them within deities? So this is the SSR seminar, Science of Self-Realization or Discover Yourself. So after that seminar, this is another seminar, Bhakti Yoga, why and how. So this is the second seminar one should learn. And here also so many important topics are discussed. So mostly we have a playlist in YouTube. So we want like all the seminars to be available both in Bengali and English, as per our necessity of the audience. So I was saying that SSR is complete in Bengali, Bhakti Yoga is also complete in Bengali, but in English SSR is there, but one section of Bhakti Yoga was missing from the previous classes. So I will just do a quick recap of what topics are discussed in the other sections of this Bhakti Yoga seminar, and then we will take the last section just to complete that playlist, and then we can resume Bhagavad Gita. So this is an interesting seminar where the first topic we discuss is karma and destiny. Okay, so yeah, what is karma? Karma can mean so many different things. In Bhagavad Gita also we were learning this. Karma has different meanings. So the primary meaning is the law of karma, that if you do something, it will come back to you in some form. That is the law of karma. Okay, as you sow, so shall you reap. According to Newton's law also, third law of motion says the same thing. So we take birth, we do some activities, and after death, this due to these activities, we incur some karma, and due to that karma, we have to take another birth. So this is a vicious cycle of birth and death. While taking birth, we are doing some activities or karma, and due to that karma, we have to take another birth, and then again, we are doing karma. This is how we are bound in this material world. So how to get out of that loop? So by Bhakti Yoga, we can do that. That's the solution. We also discussed that is everything destined? No, everything is not destined. So Jiva has its free will. We have a minute independence. Okay. So just like there is an analogy, if the powerhouse is on, then I can switch on and switch off the light in my home. The switch will work. So as per my choice, I can turn on the light or I can turn it off. But if the powerhouse supply is cut off, then this switch will not work. Similarly, as long as Krishna is allowing us to exercise our free will, we can exercise our free will. If Krishna does not allow, then we'll not be able to do that. So we have free will, but that free will is dependent on Krishna's approval. So it is a dependent free will, dependent independence, kind of. But what Krishna's independence is the supreme independence. Krishna's independence does not depend on anyone. Krishna is Swarat. Janmadashyatan Vayaditratascha Artheshwa Vigya Swarat. Another important concept discussed is if the Supreme Lord is responsible for everything, he is controlling everything. Is God responsible for our evil activities also? No. We desire to do this kind of evil activities, and the Supreme Lord sanctions. There is a difference between the Supreme Lord wants us to do and Supreme Lord sanctions us to do. Okay. Suppose the son of a father is wanting to take some intoxication, smoking cigarette or something. The father is not allowing. Father does not want the son should smoke. But the son is adamant. Then reluctantly the father gives permission. So giving permission or sanctioning is different from wanting. So similarly, when the jiva is adamant that I want to do this activity, God sanctions that. Why? There is a beautiful analogy Srila Prabhupada gives. The child is attracted towards the fan and child wants to insert its finger into the fan, running fan. The child will get hurt. Parents understand that. Therefore, parents are trying to control the child. But the child always has that curiosity. And what happens if I insert my finger? What is there inside this cage? I want to see. So that inquisitiveness, curiosity is there, and the child will not understand the implications of this. So therefore, the parents allow the child one time. The parents know that the child will get hurt, but he will learn a lesson and he will not repeat the activity anymore. So similarly, the Supreme Lord knows that if we do the evil activities, then we will have to suffer. We will incur sinful activities and we will have to suffer. But God allows us to do that so that we get the experience and we do not repeat. So we do the same thing again and again, lifetime after lifetime. We try to do sinful activities and enjoy in this world. What are the sinful activities? Meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. By these four things, we try to enjoy this world. But these are sinful activities. So after doing it for many, many lifetimes, there is an impression in the subtle body of the soul, and ultimately we develop some detachment from these things. So in our subtle body, there is impression, and we understand that there is no happiness in these four things. So then we turn towards God. So that's the permanent solution. Therefore, God sanctions our evil activities for some reason, for teaching us some lesson. But God does not want us to do that. What God wants us to do is written in scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He is telling, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mamibaishasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanam. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dedabrata. Always chant my name. Remember me. Talk about me. So always be Krishna conscious. Why? If we do not become Krishna conscious, we will become Maya conscious, and then we will have to suffer. The Supreme Lord is not very eager to hear his own glorification. The Supreme Lord is instructing the jiva that you should always talk about me, discuss about me, think about me. This is not because Krishna enjoys this. Krishna is not an egoistic person, but he wants us to do this because by doing this, we will stay connected with Krishna. And because Krishna is Anandamayo Vyashat, Krishna is always full of pleasure. By connecting with Krishna through his names, form, pastimes, we will also get that happiness. And if we do not do that, naturally, we will be under the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord or the external potency of the Supreme Lord, Mahamaya. Now, Durga Puja is going on. This Durga Devi is Mahamaya potency of the Lord. And this Durga Devi is punishing the Asura with a trident. And who is this Asura? We think this Asura is some evil personality and we are very saintly personality. And Durga Devi is protecting us by killing that Asura. But no. As per the Shastra, the definition of Asura is if you are not following the instruction of the Supreme Lord, you are an Asura. And now we can see how many instructions of Bhagavad Gita we are following. Today, the so-called Hindus, they are breaking the all four regulative principles. They are doing all the sinful activities mentioned in the scriptures. They do meat eating, they do gambling, they do intoxication, they do illicit sex. They do not do what scriptures prescribe us to do. They do not chant the holy names of the Supreme Lord. They do not read the scriptures. So these 99% of this population are actually Asura, and Durga Devi is punishing all of us. We are worshipping that form, Durga Devi punishing Asura, but we do not know the meaning. Actually, Durga Devi is punishing all of us. Durga Devi's task is to punish anyone who is not following the words of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So we have discussed that, and then we have also learned this philosophy in chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, that the soul can only desire, Paramatma will sanction, and the material nature will execute. We have discussed about the three modes of material nature. Again, in 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we are discussing that elaborately. So all these seminars like Science of Self-Realization and Bhakti Yoga, they are fundamental seminars which will help us to dive deep into the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so these concepts will come in Bhagavad Gita again and again, but this is a fundamental seminar to build the concepts. And the Supreme Lord is there as Paramatma within everyone's heart. And this is a graph of our success versus endeavor. Very interesting. Damodar month is also coming, and this is the Damodar pastime is being depicted here. So in this Damodar Lila, we will learn a lesson. We will have a class on this Damodar Lila in Damodar month. So this is the graph of success versus endeavor. So the more endeavor you put, you will get more success. But that is true up to some point, some threshold. After that, if you put more endeavor, your success will not improve. And that upper limit is mercy or destiny. Okay. So this is for a normal people. This is the graph. If you do endeavor, if you do zero endeavor, you will not get any success. If you do some endeavor, you will get some success. If you do more endeavor, you will get more success. But there is a limit. After that, even if you do endeavor, you will not get. It is not destined. The upper limit up to which you can achieve in your life is written in your destiny as a function of endeavor. So see, this is a very intuitive explanation. Sometimes people think everything is destined. Whatever is destined, I will get, even if I do not do hard work. That theory is also wrong. If you do not do hard work, if you do zero hard work, you will get zero success. And some people think there is nothing called destiny. Well, the more I do hard work, if I do infinite hard work, I will get infinite success. That is also wrong. Even if you do infinite hard work, you will not get infinite success. So this is the actual graph of endeavor versus success. But this upper limit is fixed for a non-devotee. But for a devotee, Krishna can also edit this upper limit, change this upper limit. So as per destiny, suppose if you should achieve some upper limit and suddenly you become devotee and Krishna thinks you should do more seva, then Krishna can change your upper limit. So this Damodar Leela teaches us that the Supreme Lord's mercy is a product of our endeavor. If we do more endeavor, then it pleases the Supreme Lord and we receive mercy. And by that mercy, our upper limit can change. Okay, then another concept is discussed. Why do we need to become Krishna conscious in this world? Why cannot we just stay in mode of goodness and not harming others? The explanation is, in this material world, the material world is designed in such a way that even if you do not want, you will do some sinful activities. And there is some explanation. You can watch the seminar. I'm not going into details of that. Karma, akarma, vikarma, we have also discussed. So in this material world, you cannot you cannot live without harming others. So by default, you have to do some sinful activity. So therefore, there is no other option other than becoming Krishna conscious. If you do not become Krishna conscious, all those karmic reactions you have to suffer again. But if you become Krishna conscious, then what will happen? Karmani nirtahati kintucha bhakti bhajam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. By the potency of bhakti, all your karmic reactions will be burnt away. So we have discussed this, and we have also discussed the Manav Seva versus Madhav Seva topic, serving God versus serving humanity. In one sentence, I think we have also discussed in the previous class about this topic. So the summary is that if you serve God, that includes serving humanity. But if you serve humanity alone, then you cannot serve them properly also. How much you can take care of a person. But if you connect that person to Krishna, you are saving millions and millions of lifetimes suffering for that person. I can feed some person for a day or two, but that person will continue to suffer in this material world for millions of lifetimes. But if we connect that person to Krishna, we should feed them also, feed prasad and connect with Krishna. Then you are saving millions of lifetimes of sufferings. And there is an explanation, more detailed explanation. So, what is the way out? How to practice this devotional service? Panchanga Bhakti we should do. These are the 5 do's we need to do. A, B, C, D, E, association of devotees. B for books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We should read these books. Chant the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. D for diet, or we should only take Krishna Prasadam. Whatever we are eating, we have to first offer it to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it is not pure and that is full of sinful activities. And if we eat that, we will have to suffer. And there is a dedicated verse for this. Bhagavad Gita 3.13 says, Jagjasishta Shino Santamuchante Sarvakil Vishai Bhunjate Te Tvagam Papa Ye Pachantyatma Karanat. And if you do that, you will get ecstasy. So these are the 5 things we have to do. And 4 things we have to avoid. The 4 sinful activities we have to avoid. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling. Okay, so, and we have also discussed in that Bhakti Yoga seminar that why meat eating is bad. So we had a detailed explanation on vegetarianism versus non-vegetarianism, and scientific explanation, scriptural explanation we have given. You can check out the seminar in our YouTube. So from this point onwards, this is the section remaining to be completed in this Bhakti Yoga seminar. Krishna consciousness for youths. So let's go into this section. Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto is telling, Shri Prahlad Uvacha Kaumaramacharet Prajnyo Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapyadruvam Arthadam. So we know that Prahlad Maharaj was a Vishnu devotee and his father Hiranyakashipu did not like that. But still, Prahlad's Vishnu Bhakti could not be checked. And Prahlad's Vishnu Bhakti kept increasing, and Prahlad also started preaching in his Gurukula, and all other Asuric boys, they started becoming Vishnu devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his classmates about this topic. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice the activities of devotional service. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling that Kaumaram Acharat Pragyo, from the age of Kumara, Kumara means age of 5. From the age of 5, we develop knowledge, our knowledge acquiring senses become active, and from that age, we have to start practicing devotional service. Somewhere or other, we have to chant at least 1 or 2 rounds. We have to start, we have to hear some stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, from the childhood, we should start this devotional service. Now, why should we do that? One explanation is our Acharya Prahlad Maharaj is telling. So the question we are addressing here, why should we practice Krishna consciousness in youth? When we have completed all our responsibilities in old age, we can perform devotional service and there will be nothing to do. So why to practice Krishna consciousness in youth? That's the question we are addressing. So in Shastras, it is prescribed. Prahlad Maharaj is telling that from the age of 5, we have to start devotional service. Now let us analyze that. Who is old? What is the definition of old? Some people say, in old age, I will do bhakti. Now, what is the definition of old? This is from Kevalastakam, very important verse. It says, Nishwase nahi vishwasha kadarudha bhavishyati kirtaniya mato valya dharirnamai bhakevalam. So it says, Nishwase nahi vishwasha. There is no certainty when the last breath will come. Are you sure that you will live up to the age of 70 or 80 and put an abrupt halt to all one's material plans? You do not know when death is going to come. Therefore, it is wise to always practice chanting from very childhood. Kirtaniya mato balyad. From the balyakal, from the childhood age, we have to start chanting the holy names. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. So, first of all, we do not know that when death is going to come. Someone asked Srila Prabhupada that we can do bhakti in old age. So Srila Prabhupada also asked this question, who is old? What is the definition of being old? The definition of being old is generally one who is near to death is called old. Suppose there is a 10-year-old boy and 70 years old person. So we say that this 10-year-old child is in youth and that 70-year person is old person. So what we think that 70 years old person is more nearer to death than this 10-year-old child. But we cannot say. It might also happen this 10-year-old child will die before that 70-year-old person. Right? So everyone is near to death. We do not know when we are going to die. So suppose we are very busy with our material activities and suddenly death comes. What will we do? We are not at all prepared for this. And then we will lose this valuable human form of life without doing any human-like activities. What is the human-like activities? Shastra again instructs us. Ahar nidra bhaya maithunam cha samaname tad pasubhi naranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahi na pasubhi samanam. So ahar nidra bhaya maithun, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These 4 things. If you see all the hard work all people are doing in this world are due to these 4 things: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. For eating nice things, for sleeping comfortably, mating for like expanding the progeny, and defending for a defense in different aspects: defense of the social fame, defense of the body, defense of the prestige, like that. So for these 4 things, we are spending our whole life. But the verse is dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. These 4 things also samanam etat pashubi naranam. The pashu, the animals are also doing these 4 things. Maybe they are doing it in a low grade way, but the humans are doing it in a better way. But that does not make any difference. The animals are also doing the same activities. The unique activities for a human, the unique activity for a human is dharma. Just a minute. So the unique activity for a human being is dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. If we do not do that dharma, then dharmena hina pashuhi shamana. We are no better than animals. Okay. So therefore, we do not know that who is old. We all are nearer to death. So therefore, we all are old and we have to start devotional service now. We cannot start devotional service from tomorrow. We have to start devotional service now. So there is another scriptural injunction. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Etavan sankhya yogyabhyam swadharma parinishthaya janmalabha para pumsham ante narayana smritihi. The highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. So different transcendentalists, they approach the Supreme Lord in different ways, and they have their different methods for spiritual upliftment. So this verse says, whatever you do, but the ultimate thing which is needed to pass the exam, death is the final exam. The entire life is a preparation. So the ultimate exam is whether you are able to remember the Supreme Lord at the final hour or not. Ante Narayana Smriti. Whatever you do throughout your life, that is your choice. But at the final hour, can I remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That is the success of life. That means you have passed that examination of human life. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says the same thing. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yak prayati shamadbhavam yatinastatra shamshaya. Whoever at the end of life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. And there is another verse which says, Yam yam bhabi smaran bhavam tajattante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kwanteya sadatad bhava bhavita. If you think of anything else other than Krishna, then you will get a material birth again. And you have to suffer. Taking a material birth is very, very painful. We all can experience. In our life, there is very little pleasure available, insignificant, and most of our life is full of stress. One problem we are solving and another problem is coming. So we are not at all very happy in this material world because that's the nature of this world. Krishna says, Mamupetya punarjanama dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. So in this world is dukkhalayam. So we should not come back to this world. And that is only possible if we can remember the Supreme Lord during quitting our body. Shankaracharya says this very interesting verse that our desires are never ending. Angam galitam palitam mundam dasana bihinam jata tundam vriddho jati grihitva dandam tadapina munchati asha pindam. The limbs or the angam are weakened. So some people think there is another argument here that, oh, my senses are very active in youth. It is very difficult to control my senses. In old age, my senses will become weak and it will be very easy to control them and concentrate on the Supreme Lord. So Shankaracharya says this is an illusion. Maya is giving you this illusion that actually now practicing bhakti is very difficult. You should not practice bhakti now. You leave it for the old age. In old age, you can do bhakti. This is an illusion. We should not fall into this illusion. The limbs are weakened. The head has turned gray. The mouth has become toothless. The old man walks holding a stick. Even then, he does not give up his bundle of hopes and desires. So our asha or material desires will not go away. Okay, and in this respect, there is a story that an old man comes to, so Akbar comes to see an old man with his daughter. So the old man was very weak and even not able to open eyes. But when the old man heard the tinkling ankle bells of this women, immediately eyes started opening up. So that's the point, that even in our old age, our vasana or the material desires, they will not go away. So we should not wait for old age. That's the message. And so there are so many reasons we have discussed why to practice Krishna consciousness in youth. So there are some other reasons. We need to offer us fresh. So when we are practicing devotional service, we are offering ourselves to the Supreme Lord. So suppose you want to gift someone flowers. So you would always offer fresh flowers, right? You will not give rotten flowers. So similarly, in our old age, it is like rotten us. So we should not offer the rotten version of us to Krishna. We should offer the fresh version of us in youth to Krishna. Another reason is the habits can be changed easily in youth age. Okay. If we become old, then the habits are very difficult to change. So therefore, we do academic study in youth age. The youth age is an age of learning, changing habits. So we can achieve so many things in youth age. So similarly, to understand the spiritual philosophy and change our bad habits, youth is the proper time to start. So youths are very flexible. They are not rigid like the old people. And this is the Vedic culture. In Vedic culture, at the age of 5, the we heard from Prahlad Maharaj that from the age of 5 we should start practicing devotional service. In Vedic culture, in the age of 5, the child is sent to Gurukul, and from the age of 5 to 25, the child is trained by Guru in the study of different Vedas and learning different aspects of devotional service. Then, after learning that, after 25, they used to enter Grihastha ashram. Okay. So, we have discussed this topic, why to practice Krishna consciousness in youth. So these are the common FAQs people start asking when someone becomes a devotee. All these questions they have to face. So all these basic questions are covered in the SSR seminar and Bhakti Yoga seminar. So that gives you conviction to practice devotional service, and also it equips you to answer others. If the question about your these devotional activities, you'll be able to answer them. So this is also one important question we addressed. And then the last section of this Bhakti Yoga seminar is time management. Okay. So first of all, how to manage time. So there are so many seminars on this, but the reality is that nobody can manage time. There are so many seminars, still people are not able to manage time because time is not manageable. You cannot manage. That's the reality. How whatever hard you try, just like everyone is trying to find happiness in this world, but they will not find happiness because by definition it is dukkhale. For happiness, you have to connect with Krishna. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kalusmi loka kshayakrit praviddho lokan samahartumiha pravritta rite pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve ye vasthita pratyanikeshu yodha. The Supreme Person of God had said, Time I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. So Krishna says, I am time. So nobody can control Krishna. So you cannot control time. But by the mercy of Krishna, it is possible. We are not at the stage that we can control Kala Shakti. But this Kala Shakti or time factor is one of the energies of Krishna. And Krishna is the ultimate Shaktiman. So by Krishna's mercy only this time can be managed. And to get Krishna's mercy, we have to do Krishna's work. So when you do Krishna's work, Krishna will help you in managing time. So that's not the only thing. We will also discuss some practical steps what devotees should take. Because just now we discussed in Damodar Lila, the message is if you put endeavor, then Krishna will do mercy. So to manage time also, we have to put proper endeavor as per scriptures. Then Krishna will give mercy, and by the mercy of Krishna, up to some extent you can manage time. So in Brahma Samhita also it says, Yasha Gnaya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasha Agnaya. By the order of this Govinda, Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakra, the entire Kala Chakra is functioning under the instruction of or order of the Supreme Person of God and Krishna. So time management is possible by mercy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. This is a very hope-giving verse of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam, to those people who are satata yukta, always engaged in my devotional service, constantly engaged in my devotional service, and who are doing bhajatam priti purvakam, who are worshipping me or doing bhajan of me priti purvakam with love, who are devoted to serving me with love. For this person, what I do, dadami buddhi yogam tam, I give the understanding or buddhi yogam or intelligence I provide. Yena mam upayantite. And by that, they can come to me. That means they can um, get out of this material world and they can come to me. So Krishna said here, Dadami Buddhi Yogamtam. I will help you. I will give you intelligence, how to manage time in every aspect, not only in time management. Krishna gives help. Krishna will give you intelligence. But there are two prerequisites. Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritipurvakam. So we have to do bhajan of the Supreme Lord, and that bhajan should have two characteristics. One is Satata Yukta, means always, not like only in the morning I will do Krishna Bhakti and rest of the day I will be materialistic person. Not like only Sunday I will go to the temple and I will be a saintly person and rest of the week I'll be a demon. Not like that. Satata Yuktanam. Always we are engaged in devotional service. Even while we are doing work, we know that the money I'm going to earn through my work, I will use that in Krishna service. So our work also becomes service of Krishna. In the morning, we chant the holy names, we do Mangalarati, we read the scriptures, and then we go to work. We are working also for Krishna because we will utilize that money in Krishna service. We'll also utilize uh, to maintain ourselves, maintain the body, the basic needs we can fulfill for ourselves. But rest of the money we have to use it for Krishna. If you want to do sense gratification using that money, then you are gone. This is principle of Bhagavad Gita, and the principle of Bhagavad Gita means this is the principle of universe. You cannot escape the law of karma. Krishna says, Yagyarthat karma nonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kwanteya mukta sanga samachara. If you do work for Yagyartham, if you do work for the satisfaction of Vishnu, then you will be freed from the bondage of work. Lokoyam karma bandhana. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra. If you do not do this, anyatra. Otherwise, what will happen? You will be bound by karma and you have to suffer the reactions of karma. So we have to do bhajan of the Supreme Lord in a satata yukta way, constant engagement. In the morning also we are doing chanting, reading, hearing. Then we are doing work. In the evening also we are doing arati of the Lord and we are again reading, and then we do some kirtan or we do some preaching, and then we take rest. So the entire day we should be Krishna conscious in this way. We should also make Krishna conscious friends, and we should try to deal with this world professionally. In our work also we will meet many persons who are not Krishna conscious. We need to learn how to deal with them professionally, and we have to increase our devotee association more and more. So that's the way. Management by mercy. Otherwise, time management is not possible. So, in Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamritam, the 8th verse says it is the Upadeshasar. It is the essence of all instructions. Rupa Goswami wrote this book, Upadeshamrita. Tannama Rupa Charitadishu Kirtananu Smrityo Kramen Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Braje Tadanuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayenda Kilamittupadeshasaram. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day. Even during sleep, our sleep is also Krishna's service. A devotee is sleeping, that does not mean wasting time. The devotee is reviving the body for next day's service. So that is also a devotional service. In nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Braja or Golok Vrindavan Dham and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to devotional service. So the Upadesha Saram is we have to utilize our entire time, 24 hours a day in Krishna's service. So this is how, if we engage in Krishna service by Krishna's mercy, we'll be able to manage time. Now, one may question that we also see some people who are not devotees, but they are managing time excellently, and they are doing everything. They are giving time to family. They are doing their work. They have time for their hobbies. How they are managing time without Krishna's mercy? So Prahlad Maharaj says a very interesting verse in this connection. Okay, so Prahlad Maharaj says that यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवत् किंचन सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समाशतेषुरः हरौ अभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेन सति धावतो वहि. So let me pull up this verse. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavata kinchana. In the fifth canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj is saying this verse. What is the meaning? All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the personality of Godhead Vasudev. Let us try to understand this line by line. Jasasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana, one who has unflinching devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Sarver Gunes Tatra Samashate Shura, uh, all the good qualities will come within that person. So if you are a devotee, by Krishna's mercy, all the good qualities will come. Okay. And now it says, Harau abhaktasya kuto mahadguna. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service, a non-devotee, and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling that even if that person is having good qualities, it is of no use. Even if he is adept in the practice of mystic yoga or honest endeavor in maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of Lord's external energy. He is in Maya. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So the thing is, someone may do time management very nicely, and sometimes these things can happen. We should not get bewildered that this person is not a devotee, but he is very honest. This honesty quality is there. This person is not a devotee, but he can manage time efficiently. The person is not a devotee, but he is sense controlled. He can control himself very much. So how these good qualities are coming in this person without devotional service? So the explanation is these are temporary. These are results of their own karma. They have done some pious activity, and due to that, in this lifetime, they are endowed with that important good qualities. But those qualities are temporary. One lifetime, two lifetime, they will get the benefit of this good quality, and in the next lifetime, they will take birth as a dog because they have no connection with Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that for a non-devotee, there may be some temporary manifestation of good qualities, but those good qualities are not going to take anywhere. Those good qualities are helping him to run towards hell. Suppose someone is very expert in suppose someone is very intelligent, but that intelligence is not being used in Krishna's service, and he is making softwares for sense gratification so that people can do sense gratification and do many sinful activities. Like some people make these softwares for meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. This casino is also a software, and for illicit sex there are so many applications and all. So if someone is using their intelligence, they are very intelligent, it's good quality, but if they're using these qualities in sinful activities, something that is not Krishna conscious is sinful. Okay. So those very good qualities will take him towards hell. So what is the use of these qualities? So therefore, only a Krishna Bhakta, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, is doing the right activities also, and they can manage time also. And Abhyartha Kalatyam is a very important quality for a devotee. Srila Rupa Goswami states in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu this quality of Abhyartha Kalatvam. A Vaishnava must be very alert not to waste even a second of his valuable lifetime. This is a symptom of Vaishnava. But association with pounds and shillings men or Visayis, materialistic person who are simply interested in sense gratification, pollutes one's mind and hampers such continuous remembrance of the Lord Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised, Athas Sanga Tyag Ei Vaishnava Achar. A Vaishnava should behave in a way as to never associate with non-devotees or materialists. One can avoid such association simply by always remembering Krishna within his heart. Okay, so we have to deal with the materialistic person in a professional way. We should not open our heart to a materialistic friend who is not a devotee. Guhyam akhyati prichati, revealing your mind in confidence is only allowed for a devotee. Otherwise, you will have to suffer. And many of us have experienced this, that people take benefit when we share our secrets to materialistic person. Okay, so another aspect of time management is working with detachment. Because when we are attached, our mind is thinking about that subject matter. Suppose we are giving some exam and we are very attached to the fruits of the exam. So we will spend half of the time thinking about what will happen if I fail, what will I do if I succeed, because I am very much attached to the fruit. So if we work with detachment, then we are not attached to the fruits and we can concentrate on the service. That also saves time. So detachment is one of the important factors of time management. So Krishna says, Mai Sharvani Karmani Sanyasathatma Chetasha Nirashir Nirmamo Bhutpa Juddhasva Vigatadjvara. Krishna teaches this principle of detachment. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims of proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. So, without desires for profit, this is detachment, and no claims of proprietorship. With this mode, we have to execute some services. So, from attachment comes lamentation or desire, and that distracts us from being in present, and that is the root cause of our wasting time. Now we will discuss some practical steps in time management. So first of all, planning is very important. If we do not plan, then we cannot manage time. There is a saying called, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So we have to plan that what we want to do in our spiritual life and in our material life. We have to make a to-do list and goals. So we can make a goal for the entire year, that suppose I have some academic goals, I have to complete these things in this year, and within this year I want to complete this Srila Prabhupada books, and I want to complete these lectures, I want to attend this yatra. So you make a yearly plan. If you cannot make a yearly plan, at least make a monthly plan, that in this month my target is to complete this spiritually and materially. Then you divide that in weekly goals, that in a month if I have to do these things, then in a week how much academic goals I have to achieve and how much spiritual goals I have to achieve. So this is how we should make our to-do list, and we should also make our schedule. We should see that how our schedule fits, then how can we find a time within our schedule, how much available time I have, and how to distribute that to academics and spirituality. This is how we have to plan. And there is a round robin algorithm, which is also very interesting. And the computers use this algorithm. So suppose there are in computers so many processes are going on. This is in operating systems, they teach this algorithm, how CPU handles all the different running processes. Suppose we are talking now, so Google Chrome is on, and this PowerPoint is being displayed. At the same time, Zoom is also running, and there are so many other hundreds of background processes in the computer running simultaneously. But everything seems flawless and everything is smooth. It's not that when I'm opening the PowerPoint, Zoom is stopped, and when I'm talking on Zoom, the PowerPoint is stopped. No, everything is running parallelly. How it is possible? So here comes the round robin algorithm. Suppose the CPU has 8 tasks running simultaneously: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So CPU, what it does, suppose CPU does this, suppose after this time stamp, the task number 6 will come. So CPU will do that task for some microseconds. And then CPU will say, I have done this work up to some microseconds, and this is the current state of the task. And then the task number 5 will come, and it will also do the task number 5 for some microseconds. and it will save the state, and then it will move on to task 4. So it does all the activities for some time. So this is how no process is starving completely. Everyone getting a chance. And this is happening so rapidly that we are not able to detect, and we think everything is happening simultaneously. So in our life also, sometimes we have to do. Suppose I have got a very big assignment which will take 3 days to complete. Okay, so what will you do? I will abandon all my activities and just complete that assignment? No. We have to divide that task. So I can give, suppose, 2 hours for that assignment in a day. And then after that, maybe I am chanting a little bit. I'm reading some Srila Prabhupada books. And then I am doing another project for 1 hour. So this is how in round robin algorithm, we have to give time to all our different pending tasks so that no task is um, starving. And you also can assign priority. Suppose you have something very important, so you can take that task very frequently. Suppose I have a very um, burning assignment which I have deadline tomorrow, so I will give 3 hours of time, and then I can take 30 minutes of break, do some work, and then again you do that activity. So more frequently you can take that task if it is very very urgent. So this is our round robin algorithm we can perform in our life also. And between the tasks we can take some Krishna conscious breaks. These breaks are also very important. During the breaks, if we take some materialistic break and we watch or see something which is not Krishna conscious, then that affects the mind, and garbage is stored in the mind, and that will reduce our efficiency. So we have to take Krishna conscious breaks. This is how dynamically we have to balance our spiritual and material life. Sometimes material life becomes very urgent. Suppose you have some exam, so you have to study most of the day. You cannot do much reading and hearing. So for those days, you just chant 16 rounds, and you can only focus on studies. And when the exam is over, you do not have much study. You can focus on reading and hearing more. Okay, so this is how dynamically we have to balance. Therefore, it is better to have weekly goals. You may not be able to complete the daily goals. Suppose you can take a weekly goals that I will read Srila Prabhupada books for 3 hours in a week, and I will hear lectures for 3 hours. This is the weekly goal. Suppose Monday you could not do that. You could not read at all. Okay, you only could do 30 minutes of hearing. But some other day you can do a makeup for that. So this is how dynamically we have to balance the spiritual and material life. So there is a time management matrix also, which will help us in time management. This is categorizing our different activities. So there are 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is important and not urgent. So here we have this quadrant, which is important and urgent. This is the first quadrant. And the second quadrant is important, not urgent. Third quadrant is urgent but not important. Fourth quadrant is not urgent, not important. So we have to understand these 4 quadrants, and we should be able to categorize our different tasks. So what are urgent and important? Suppose you have some deadline, you have got some medical emergency, we have some meetings. So that is urgent, also important also. You have to take prompt action. You cannot think. And there are some important tasks, but they are not urgent. Suppose planning for the future, making a plan for the entire month. This is important, but not urgent. You can work on self development. You can work on the relationships. So that is important, but not urgent. So the first quadrant is called quadrant of action. That activities which are urgent and important, you have to act promptly. That is the quadrant of action. The second quadrant is most important. If you work more on the second quadrant, then things will not go to urgent session. Like if you complete the homeworks in time, it will not become pressing deadline. That tomorrow, like today, 12 o'clock, I have to submit, and now 8 o'clock, I am starting the assignment. So we have to work on this quadrant of quality, which is important but not urgent. Then we have urgent but not important. This is the quadrant of deception. We feel this is urgent, but actually that is not important. Suppose you are studying and some message pops up. We think this is very urgent to reply. Okay. But actually, that's nothing. That's not important. It's our mind. Our mind is playing with us, and mind is telling that this is very urgent. You have to immediately reply. But actually that is not important. Interruptions, WhatsApp notifications, and popular activities to please others, to satisfy the mind, but actually they are not important for us. And then quadrant of waste, which is not urgent, not important, useless call, passing time, Facebook, and pleasant activities, not doing anything productive. So we have to minimize this quadrant of deception and quadrant of waste. We have to work more on this quadrant of quality, and the urgent actions we have to take in the quadrant of action. But if we spend more time in quadrant 2, things will not go to quadrant 1. So that's another tips for time management. Now let us gather some motivation by seeing the daily schedule of our acharyas, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how devotional service and Krishna's mercy helped them to manage time, the practical proof. So the schedule of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is 8 to 10 o'clock at night, he would rest. Then from 10 o'clock till 10 at night to 4 in the morning, he would write different scriptures, translate books, and write books like that. 4 to 4:30 again, small rest. So only 2 hours he would take rest. Our acharyas on a platform which is beyond the body. So therefore their bodily needs decrease because they are in pure mode of goodness. Vishuddha Sattva platform. So therefore the bodily needs minimize. Just like the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, they also used to take only 1.5 hour of nap. And Raghunath Das Goswami used to take 1 cup of buttermilk every 3 days. So eating and sleeping, these bodily needs would reduce for a person who is in Vishuddha Sattva. So we should not imitate, but we are only gathering motivation. We have to take 6 hours of sleep, 3 times meal, as per the requirement of our body. So 4:30 to 7, you would chant japa. 7 to 7:30, correspondence, writing letters. 7:30 to 9:30, you would study Shastra. 9:30 to 10, take bath and take simple prasadam. And he was a grihastha, so he had material duties as well. 10 to 1, court duties as a magistrate. And 1 to 2 o'clock, refresh at home again. 2 to 5 again, court duties. And 5 to 7, he used to translate Shastras to Bengali. 7 to 8, bath and take simple prasadam. So this is how, with minimum bodily needs and extreme discipline, Bhaktivinoda Thakur achieved so many different things. He just renovated the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. After Mahaprabhu went, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya was about to get extinct. There were so many upper Sampradayas and so many divergent philosophies, and the actual message of Lord Chaitanya was lost. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur worked very hard, wrote many books, and he again revived the entire movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we see the Srila Prabhupada schedule, 1 o'clock at night, Srila Prabhupada used to rise, chant japa, and then translate the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita till 3:30 in the morning. And then he attends Mangalarti in room performed by either Purushottam or me, the servant who is writing this. 4:30 attends Arati, the bigger Arati in temple hall, and Srimad Bhagavatam class, Kirtan in the main temple, morning program. 6:30 goes for a morning work, about an hour. He is also taking care of health, taking Ayurvedic medicine, light breakfast. 9 o'clock chants Kirtan or sings prayers alone in his room. Sometimes he requests Purushottama and me to play instruments. That is his personal prayers to the Supreme Lord. 10 o'clock in the morning, dictates letters, instruct devotees, and guest reception, talking with devotees, writing letters, correspondence. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, takes a massage, bath, and then chants Gayatri. And 1 o'clock, honors lunch prasadam, chants more rounds of japa, and then rests. So yeah, 4:30 in the afternoon, takes a little fruit juice, frequently sits with devotees for informal talks. 6:30 in the evening, attends evening arati in his room. On occasion, he respects a light meal, alternately goes to London or elsewhere for an engagement or has open visiting hours. So this is in Bhaktivedanta manner. So therefore, London is mentioned. And 10:30 to 11 retires and then again rises 1 o'clock. So Srila Prabhupada is also taking 3 hours of sleep, like on an average every day. So he was also in the Vishuddha Sattva platform. We should not imitate, but we can see the discipline and the time management of our acharyas. So what is the conclusion? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahaytuki pratihata yajatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation for all humanity is that by which men can attain to the loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So Srimad Bhagavatam prescribes that the topmost dharma for living entities is to perform bhakti unto Vasudev. If you do that, everything will come by the mercy of Vasudev. Bhakti is the ultimate solution to all our problems. Okay. Thank you very much, Hari Krishna. So this ends this Bhakti Yoga seminar. We can take some questions if you have. Okay, no questions. So you can also ask me questions in WhatsApp if you have any later. So we'll continue with the Bhagavad Gita from next week. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. शील प्रभुपाद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल.